Hey everybody, how you doing? We're here for the show, Stock Markets with Bruce, for Stock Markets in plain English with your pal Uncle Bruce. Welcome. It is July the 7th, Friday, option expiry day, and payrolls Friday. We just got the report that the job creation number was 209,000 for the month, which was slightly lower than the consensus of 230,000 estimated, but pretty close. 209,000. We're waiting to see what the revisions are for last month, see if there's been any changes there. The unemployment rate apparently now in the USA is 3.6 or 3.5%, 0.1% lower than last month. And so it is at basically the lowest level of unemployment in 50 plus years. And despite all of that, there is no labor secretary approved by the Senate for the United States government. And this is the third year of the Biden administration. They still don't have a labor secretary. This is the kind of interference that's going on out there to just muck it up. And there are all kinds of, apparently hundreds of positions in all kinds of departments of the U.S. government that are not getting approved through Senate committees because Republican senators are just denying fast passage and approval of career lifelong people to get their jobs. And it's the new game in town. It's just we don't care. We're not going to get unelected because of this. So we'll do it and interfere as much as we can with the ongoing administration. I can guarantee you that if the Republicans gain control of the White House and they want to, they bring up all of their nominees, guess what the Democrats are going to do if they're in opposition? Exactly the same thing, because they're going to learn, well, they did it to us, we're going to do it to them. And it'll take, it just is not going to go well. And this, of course, makes the U.S. the butt of a lot of jokes out there among diplomats and other governments, but they do it quietly behind the scenes. They don't brag about it, but America is in such disarray in certain areas. They're, what are you going to do? Americans themselves are fantastic. I love Americans. Are you kidding me? I love Americans. I think it's awesome. The country is incredible. But the politicians America has, not great. Well, let's put it this way. There are politicians, and then there are non-politicians. And there are too many non-politicians running things or trying to run things their own way for their constituents. And it is not for the betterment of the country as a whole, or at least it's not working out that way. Just my opinion. I'm an old man. What can I say? We are going into the morning here looking at we were looking at a negative market. I'm just trying to figure out where we're at now. We're down about 31 on the Dow, down 5 on S&P, and down 29 on NASDAQ in the pre-market. So that's what I'm seeing. By the way, where is the greatest government in the world? I don't know. I don't know where the greatest government in the world is. People always thought, oh, Switzerland has the best government, don't you think? And I'm kind of going, well, they're not very happy. They're not very happy in Switzerland right now, because the Swiss population, of which is 8 million people, by the way, in Switzerland. That's it, 8 million. The whole country is upset at their banking regulators and government officials because of the debacle of Credit Suisse. This is going to cost Swiss taxpayers a lot of money, and they're not happy about it. There's only 8 million of them to pay it. So that isn't good. So I don't see that government being, highly praised. The German government has usually been fairly well regarded, but they're not happy in Germany either. There's a war in Ukraine, and it's costing Germany a lot of money because the German economy was very dependent on cheap Russian imports, which have now been completely cut off. So they're not happy. And I'm sure the rest of Europe, look at France. It's on fire. I mean, France is on fire with the riots over there. They've got issues, simmering, terrible simmering issues, unfortunately, and on it goes. So where is it great? Where is it where the governments are the best ever? I guess if you believe the propaganda from China, they've got the best government in the world as far as they're concerned, because they have total control over media, total control over the courts, total control over education, total control over thought, total control over display of emotion. They feel that everything's great here. Just do what we say, and you'll be fine. Be a worker ant. If you're Chinese, be a worker ant, and you'll be just fine. But don't dare give us your opinion. Well, we'll see how that plays out. How much fun is that? Welcome all to the show. Great to have you here. It's good to see you all. Last night, I watched something interesting. I was watching Netflix last night on my big-ass TV, and I watched this series about the PGA Tour. I think it's called Full Swing or something like that. It's basically an 8-part documentary. I don't know if that's the right word. It's an 8-part thing where camera crews from Netflix followed some golfers for the year. They followed them for a season. I guess it was the 2022 season, last year's golf year. And they followed some of the names we know, golfers we know of, like Roy McIlroy. But they also followed these are two rookies. These are brand new guys who just got their tour card for the first time. So they were following the world that they're in to try to break into the PGA Tour and be rookies on tour and their trials and tribulations. They were following journeyman kind of golfers that we don't hear about, the guys that are ranked 70th, and how are they getting along? Guys who are trying to hang on and to get somewhere. It was a very interesting behind the scenes kind of a show. I really enjoyed it. Watching these athletes, and they are athletes, the workout regimen that they have to adhere to, their diets, how much practice, of course, they do, obviously, the effect on their families, their children, their wives, their parents, all the life things that we all have. They have it too. We only see them for an hour on Sundays in the final round. If they're in the lead, if they're in the top 5, other than that, we don't see anybody. It is an interesting business. I got a kick out of watching them get on private jets. They had the camera crew with a couple of golfers in their jets as they were headed to their next event. That was interesting. Their agents, their swing coaches, their motivators. It was a very interesting show. I watched all 8 parts. I couldn't stop watching it. I thought, there's only 2 to go. I'll just watch 2 more. Each one's 45 minutes. And it only took me 6 hours to watch the whole thing. But I found it a most interesting thing to see, where these individuals, they're individual golfers with their businesses around them, trying to make it in the PGA Tour, and it's a fascinating thing to see. They remind me of myself in a very different way, and that I am my own entrepreneur on my channel here and my other channel, and I have my circle of people that I talk to, but I don't have a full-blown organization like these guys do. It's interesting to watch how some of these golfers go from single rookies on tour, and as they make it, if they do make it, they then have advisors, and they have marketing experts, and they have advertising agents, and next thing you know, they got 20 people around them per guy, a full-blown mega entity going on. Fascinating to watch the evolution of these careers. Anyway, if you get a chance to watch, I think you'll enjoy that show. It's pretty good. Very, very interesting. What's going on here with our stocks? We're watching, again, reaction to the unemployment report, of course. I'm trying to keep an eye on all of that. Hang on here. It used to be so much easier, but it's not that easy anymore. I think we're positive now in the market, so it looks like things are a little bit better. And the Treasury notes might be down a little bit from their highs. That might be a good thing. Let me take a look at interest rates. The 10-year is still at 4%. The 2-year was over 5%. The 30-year was over 4% going into this morning's rates. Unemployment numbers. Euro and pound seem to be rising against the US dollar. So the US dollar is falling in value overseas. This is likely maybe because these numbers coming out could be allowing the Fed to not have to be too aggressive. It's not too good of a report. It's not too bad of a report. It's just another number. We'll see how this obviously how will this all play out. A lot of speculation on what is going on. U.S. jobs growth slowed in June. These are the headlines that are coming out. They slowed down to 209, and I think the Wall Street people are trying to put a spin on this, that this is good because the Fed won't have to raise rates anymore. I doubt that will happen. But we'll see. We'll see what's going on. Okay, what else is happening here? Rocket Lab up 6 cents. Nothing on SoFi at the moment, unchanged. GameStop is up 7 in the pre-market. Anything else going on? Smart Rent is up about 9 cents after losing 12 yesterday. Apple's down 12 cents. There's nothing going on. Cisco down 8. Tesla up $1. Microsoft down 26 cents. Amazon is up 65 cents. Nvidia's gone from negative to positive. It's up to 87 cents instead of down $1.50. Unity's up a penny, and C3.ai Inc or AI is up 21 cents to 39.29. Interesting day yesterday for AI. For those of you who are closely monitoring the AI stock, hit a low into the 36 range yesterday, and then recovered back to the 40 level. It did quite all right, and it's just showing me that that with a short position on AI of upwards of 35% of the stock being shorted, the AI stock is not going to free fall off the table very much. Yes, it's volatile. We know that. We follow that here. We talk about it all the time. The option premiums are fantastic on AI, of course, but the underlying strength of the stock and the underlying following is huge. And this company makes any kind of a twitch. They announce anything. A 10% increase in orders for their software over the next quarter, or if they were to make a statement to up their estimates for the next full 12 months, they just make a slight, we think we're going to be 3% higher than what we thought. We want to let you know we're on the positive track. Anything of a minor little twitch higher, the stock could go up $20 a share to $60. It's a powder keg that can explode up at any time. And the reason is there's only 99 million shares free trading, if that. And there are 35 million shorted. And this is known by hedge funds, in retail investors, other institutional players, all the Wall Street players. They all know that the AI stock, the actual stock of C3.ai Inc, is heavily shorted by some mutual funds, or by some hedge funds, and they've been promoting it. That there are hedge funds out there promoting that they're short, and there's a battle royale going on about this stock's future. Now, there are a lot of experts out there who've been saying, this stock was only at $10 a share at its low, so you better be careful. 10.16, and it hit 48 already. That's now $39, $40. It's already had a great run, and these guys are kind of like politicians in Washington and Ottawa and everywhere else. They fail to mention to the world that, well, the stock was once $160 a share. 2 years ago, it went from $160 down to $10, now back to $40. We haven't seen anything yet. I get the impression that the hedge funds who have shorted the bejesus out of this thing, and they probably started at the 100 level all the way down. They didn't short it at, $15 to $10. They shorted it from, 180, 70, 60, 54, and they got it to 10, and they were looking for it to go lower. These guys are now trying to put a line in the sand around the $40 mark, somewhere around here. Don't think there's an exact number that I can pinpoint for you. Some of us here follow the charts, and some of you will come out to me and say, oh, it looks like the resistance level is this or at that level. But all in all, it seems to be 40 or less is where they're trying to keep the stock. They're trying to dampen it to not have a big run. My thinking on it is this company is just one sentence away from either an analyst or the company itself revising their numbers going forward to bring in 200 million shares a day of buying for 10 days in a row, which would just be massive. And the stock will be 60, 65 a share, just like that. And that's still nothing. That is still nothing to where it once was. 160 a share is where it has been already. And so is the upside of AI ultimately going to be $200 a share at a new all-time high? Maybe. In a week? No. In 6 months? I don't know. In the year? Maybe. It could be that every month this stock will climb $10 a share. Just methodically, it'll just start trading in the 40, 50 range, and then the 50, 60 range, and then for the next month, the 60, 70 range, as buying keeps coming in and the shorters keep having to buy back and reload and buy back. They'll buy back, wait for it to go a little higher, sell again, and try to hopefully catch it on a downdrift, buy back, watch it go up again, hit it again. There'll always be shorters. There's always shorters on Tesla. There's always shorters on Facebook and Apple. There's always shorters. The thing about C3.ai is how dedicated are these guys? How many billions can they pop in against this stock? That is the question. The market cap of this company is $4.6 billion. And that is the thing that I look at as well. I look at this and I go, oh my God, we have these massive hedge funds trying to ruin this company's reputation by shorting the bejesus out of it and then hiring shills to just slam this company every chance they get. It's only a $4.6 billion market cap company. It's not like it's a $45 billion company that should only be trading at $5 billion. It's not even a $5 billion corporation. It's so tiny. In the big picture of AI's potential, I mean, the upside of this company for their software, massive. I mean, these guys could have, going forward, tens of billions of dollars in sales for the next 20 years going through. There's no way the stock's going to be $4 or $5 billion. If they have a successful AI software program for corporate clients, governments, defense departments, I mean, they've got clients right now that are massively huge in capitalization. There's no way this stock's going to be under 25 billion market cap. There's no way that would be the case. These guys can do $2 billion a year in sales and net out $1 billion a year in profit, 50% range, or $3 billion in sales and net out $1 billion a year in profit. $1 billion a year in profit. This thing is a $25 billion market cap company. It's 5 times the current price, $200 a share. It's nothing personal. It's just numbers. It's all I'm quoting are just potential upside revenue numbers of this organization. These shorters that are sitting on top of this AI right now, they don't believe this company can do 300, 500 million in sales. They're already doing 300 or something million now. They're on their way to billions of dollars in sales because this AI software thing is going global. Everyone has to have it, or you're not going to compete with your competitors. I mean, you are going to be knocked out. If your competitor has replaced a third of their staff with AI programs and it works, they are highly profitable compared to you, which means your business is vulnerable to be taken out, either eliminated from existence because you'll be ground out of business entirely, or you'll be bought out by way more profitable corporations that will then just buy up the industry that they're in and become the dominant player in that industry because they're the most efficient run corporation in that sector. These guys at C3.ai Inc., to me, I think these guys are a takeover target. I think at the end of the day, they come out with the potential of $1 billion a year in sales, $2 billion a year, $3 billion a year in sales. They're going to be taken out, and that means for the shorters, they're in massive trouble. They're in Tesla trouble. Remember any of these hedge funds, zillions of them, who were shorting Tesla when Tesla went to 100 a share, and then they went to 200 a share, and they went, this is pre-split, remember? I mean, remember when Tesla used to trade at $1,500 a share, $2,000 a share? What about this thing? 99 million shares outstanding. They got 700 million cash in the bank, no debt. I mean, come on. This is ridiculous. This is laughable to me that the stock is actually this cheap. And we'll see what's going on. If GameStop could go from $5 a share, when I did my video in June 2020 talking about the short position of GameStop on this channel, when I had 500 subscribers, I talked about GameStop with a short position that was just out of this world. And GameStop shares went all the way to the 350, 400 range. They raised $2 billion in cash with the guidance of Mr. Cohen. If GameStop can do that, this stuff at $39.60 a share, there's no way it's going to stay at $39.60 a share. There's just no way. So that's my thinking on the AI story. These shorters are in big trouble. They're sitting on a powder keg. They know it. They are worried about it. They better be worried about it. It's going to be something else. Anyway, those of you out there who have written cash secured puts on this stock, those of you who have written call options that are 45s and 50s and 55s, 60s, well done. Well done. Don't fear the upside. Embrace it. Go with it. Let's see what it brings us. And let's see what happens. But on the put side, it's going to be good. And see what happens. SoFi, $8.10, $8.11 right now is where we're seeing the stock trade at. And those of you writing these $8 puts, $7.50 puts, $9 puts, way to go on your SoFi. Rocket Lab, 562, up 2 cents. We are temporarily under 6. I don't think it's going to be here much longer. I think the new neighborhood is 10 to 12, in my humble opinion. And cash secured put option writers on Rocket Lab, I think, are going to be very, very happy. GameStop's up 11 to $22.94. We lost another dollar yesterday to get to $22.83. Those of you who are hanging in there with the GameStop contracts, it's just been a good week for you. It's been a good couple of weeks because the shares ran up to 26, 27 and now run back down to this level here. And those contracts that you roll into, even though you may have gone out in time, are backing off. And there's opportunities, I'm sure, for some of you here today, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We'll see how the stock does, where you may well be already deep into rollbacks. You're rolling your 2025s to 2024s, your 2024 contracts you're rolling into maybe late 2023s. There's some of you taking advantage of that. So congratulations, option writers on GameStop. Other than that, I'm not seeing too much yet. ATIP sitting at $8.62. There's no trading going on here. It traded yesterday 13,000 shares. Of course, you may ask, why does it only trade 10,000 shares or 20,000 shares? Well, you have to remember they did a 50-to-1 rollback of the shares outstanding. And so there are now only 4 million shares in existence total. And the public float is 1.1 million shares. There's only 1.1 million floating around that can trade out of all the stock out there. The short interest is registered at 43%, 489,000 shares. So what's the future for ATIP? I'm kind of guessing that the future will be something along the lines of the company will announce eventually, and I don't know when eventually is, a stock arrangement, maybe a preferred stock convertible into common stock type thing that will take the debt off the books and turn the debt into preferreds only, not as a bank loan. That might be it. Would they theoretically merge with another health provider and get third-party financing through a hedge fund group to make that happen? And now the company is a whole different entity completely, and that the ATIP component makes up 20% of what the new thing actually is. It could be that complicated. It could be underway as we are sitting here. And then, is the other company a public company already? And so ATIP will become part of another public company, and you get a whole bunch of other stock instead of the stock you have. I don't have the answers. They don't call me with it as seeking advice. They have others that they're paying for advisory services, and I'm sure they're working 24/7 a day to figure out their final solution, because you do not go through all this work to roll back the stock, do all these filings, expend all these dollars to reorganize your company, and then not do something with it. You cannot sit back and say, okay, we've done enough. The stock now is trading at 8 something a share. There's only 4 million out, a million trade. We're done now. This is how the company's going to be for the next 25 years. No, that's not it whatsoever. All of the moves that have been done to get ATIP where it is now is only a temporary scenario. It is running to first base. Now we're going to take the company to second base and third base, but it's a 9-inning game, and we're in the third inning. And I don't have answers beyond what I see at the moment. If anyone does, let me know. We'll see what happens. All right. Larry Titus, good morning, everybody. Number 52, Stephen Carney is here. Good morning. Nice to have you guys to be here. No Cell doesn't think ATIP will survive. I think they will. I think ATIP will survive a long, long time, because you do not spend millions of dollars to reorganize a corporation in order for it to go under. You just let it go under. And so it is not going under. So there you have it. That's where I see it going anyway. That's just me, the old man and the experience of the markets. That's just my take on it. But hey, time will tell who's right here. Where this thing ultimately ends up, time will tell us, and we'll see what's going on. All right. In any event, there's a lot of work to be done, and I'm sure they're on it. Richard Carlin, ATIP at 35 million market cap needs to be 50 million to be compliant. So, yeah, there's no doubt in my mind that there's work to be done to put the thing together. ATIP, what a waste of money. Lame duck, not happy. Well, no single shareholder can be thrilled with the situation they're in at the moment, but they're not done yet. And so I'm just going to wait it out and see what happens. It's a long-termer on this one. Unfortunately, I don't like it. I don't like it being a long-term, but it is. And that is that. All right. We're down 58 points on the Dow now, 7.5 on S&P, NASDAQ down 1 3/4 points. I think we've gone into a bit of a tailspin here on the market. Nothing dramatic, just a reversal from a little pop that we had after the jobs report. Interest rate wise, the 10-year note is back up again to 4.08, and maybe the street is figuring out, gee, this jobs thing actually might not be good. Maybe it's going to make the Fed go higher on rates, and we'll see how these other currencies react as the day goes on here. We may find that the pound and the euro and others will drop again rather than rise against the U.S. dollar. We'll figure that out. Over in Europe, let's see if I can get this to work here. There we are there, and get that up there, and go to Europe. The European markets, the London markets are off 1/3 of a percentage point. Nothing serious. Germany is up 0.5 point. France is up 0.5 point. Now, they were down yesterday more than 1%. In some cases, 2% lower yesterday. So this is a slight dead cat recovery. but a quiet one and a soft one. In Asia, they were negative overnight, down almost a full percentage point across the board on all Asian markets. So there's no revival coming from there. Apparently, news came out and stories have been leaking out that the Chinese government is encouraging local banks, local investment houses in various regions of China to raise capital, issue higher yielding bonds for higher interest rates for the savers they have to raise cash. The problem in China is people are not taking their money out of savings accounts and buying real estate because they are sick and tired of having to buy a condo where there's a hole in the ground over here and there is no condo and there is no bulldozer over here. There isn't a crane. They know they have friends in construction and engineering and all these trades, and they're all saying there's nothing being built there. There's no plans to build anything there. The only thing being offered is a model. It's some real estate office in downtown wherever, and they're showing floor plans of what the building is going to look like when it's all done. And it's going to look like thousands of other condos in China that are already standing but empty, or holes in the ground everywhere else. And the Chinese public is going, I'm not falling for this. 10 years ago, the game plan would have been to get the family together with grandma, grandpa, and all the cousins, aunts, and uncles, and we would pool money as a family together to buy 5 of these condos for the children and the grandchildren, so that in the next 5-10 years, when the condos are built, the place to live is set in this city for some of these relatives, and the relatives as a whole pool their dough together to fund this thing, and they make these monthly payments and mortgages. Well, eventually, what happens is when people don't see buildings being built when promised, they back off and go, I'm not buying another condo from anybody. And other Chinese people are kind of going, I'm not buying a condo unless it's already built. I'm going to only buy used condos. I'm going to buy a condo on the real estate market rather than this speculative bubble that is just driving everyone crazy, because there are millions, probably tens of millions of Chinese investors who have locked up billions of dollars, tens of billions of dollars into real estate that doesn't exist. And only on paper do they have a condo, not in reality. And these folks are expected to keep making payments to these bankers, these mortgage companies. Now, the investors of the mortgage companies, many of which are, again, are Chinese families. There are a lot of investors out there who are supposed to be collecting interest on these more loans that they've extended to build these buildings. And they're not getting paid their interest right now. So they're a little upset. They're complaining to authorities, and authorities generally don't take too well to people complaining, at least in China. So there's a whole mess over there, an absolute mess. So the Chinese government is trying to get local authorities to encourage local financial institutions to raise cash, again, by offering some kind of interest rate, I don't know against what, to encourage liquidity build, to get liquidity built. And I would imagine that might get some projects going again. The issue here is unemployment among the youth in China is at record highs, certainly the worst in 20, 30 years. It's expected to be bad for the next 5 years going forward. According to analysts, it doesn't look good in China. And this is the so-called wave of new home buyers coming forward. And these folks won't qualify for a mortgage, let alone if they want a house. They won't qualify for a house. You're unemployed. Not a good thing. And every year that goes by, another 2-3 million graduates graduate in China from these engineering universities and what have you, all the skills they've acquired. No jobs to employ them. Trouble in little China. That's what we have going on here. And so the outside world in and around China, the neighbors of China, are noticing that inside China itself, there's frustrations. The Chinese public is not happy. The Chinese government, of course, blames the United States for every single problem that is going on. Of course, average Chinese they know who it is to blame. They know who's to blame here, but they can't say it. They can't speak it. Because if they are caught even writing a letter to a friend and mailing it, that'll be intercepted, read by the secret police, and then these people will be brought in for questioning. Why are you so anti-Chinese? Are you an American agent? And on it goes. And so everyone's afraid over there to do anything, and the authorities run everything with an iron fist. And people in Hong Kong who sing a song that is connected to democracy get arrested and may face 5 years of prison. So yeah, it's a little tight over there. Issues. You want to invest in that place? You got to be nuts. Steven says, I sold July 21 calls on SoFi for $38 each. $38 each. If I wasn't on my honeymoon for the first half of June, I could have sold them for over $100 each. A dollar earned is a dollar earned either way, though. There you go. Let's see what's going on. They should put that to a vote. Oh, wait a minute. They don't do that. Yes, they put it to a vote. Anyway, let's see what's going on. Uncle Bruce, good morning. Does the jobs number have any impact on Biden being the best president ever? Well, you got to wonder about that. You've got a guy who's 80 years old, and he's president of the United States, and he has the lowest unemployment rate in 50 years. Passed several bills last year that will improve infrastructure, rebuild bridges, roads, airports, seaports. In other words, putting Americans to work. Is encouraging 5G internet across the country, including the red states, which is kind of funny, but it's true. And is encouraging the EVization of America, if there's a word like EVization, where the Trump administration and the Republicans want to kill alternative energy programs and just drill for more oil. That's their plan. The plan is bring out coal from the ground and produce electricity from coal, and keep drilling for oil and gas and produce electricity from oil and gas. Where the Democrats are kind of going, well, we have to kind of reduce our emissions and clean up the environment and not pollute so much. And we got to kind of join the rest of the planet with the electricalization, the EVization of the planet. And we can be leaders in this division, in this world. And the hottest trading stock for the last decade one of them has been Tesla, which is completely the future, which is not coal production or oil and gas production whatsoever. But then, of course, you've got the critics of the EVization thing, and you got the supporters of the oil business. You got the shills on both sides of the political spectrum. I don't know. I remember it. I don't remember. I don't know where I can find this, but some of you probably could find this on the internet. There's a photo out there that was taken right after the election, after President Trump was inaugurated. It was maybe his first couple of days in office. And it was a photo that was taken in the White House, in the Oval Office itself. And it showed President Trump behind the president's desk. And then there were about 5 or 6 men around him, some sitting, some standing. And I saw a photo of that photo where arrows were being pointed at some of these 6 guys or 5 guys. And this guy's in jail. This guy's been charged with crimes. This guy was found guilty of this. I remembered during the transition period from Obama to Trump, when Trump had all these meetings at the Trump Tower, that people would go through the lobby and then they would talk to the media about possibly being cabinet ministers and the head of this department, and how the Trump people put the spin on it that it's the top men. We're bringing in the top men and women to run this administration. Nothing but the top men. And one by one, they got indicted. They quit. Within 2 years, half the cabinet had resigned already and walked out. The top men didn't last very long, and now the fallout continues. I mean, it just doesn't end. But hey, it's America, man. It's not my country. I'm just a Canadian in Canada, saying, hey, I have Mr. Justin Trudeau as my prime minister. So I mean, are we better off? I don't know. There's the good and the bad up here. There's the good and the bad where you are. All I care about really is what's the business angle here, and I just love my American viewers and my friends down in the U.S. And my Canadian pals and friends I'm making in Europe. I'm just a happy guy to be associated with some of the greatest YouTubers YouTube has got, and so that's all I can say. It's not much more I can do about that. I can't change the outcome of these governments. I can only just watch from the sidelines and go shrug. I can only shrug, because in my lifetime, has it ever changed? Oh God, has it ever? Yes, it really has changed a lot, and it is what it is. So I don't know. What does Trump have to do with stocks right now is the question. Well, it's not the past we're really worried about. It's the future, Marty, the future. Stocks trade on future prospects. At the moment, the stock market is not trading about the future of the U.S. government. It's too early for that. This is July 2023. The election is November 24. Inauguration is January 25. And so at the moment, the market is really not too concerned about the election coming up in November. It will be concerned about a year from now. About a year from now, the market will be very concerned about the direction of the presidential campaign, because the primaries will be in full swing. As a matter of fact, they'll probably even have they're getting ready for their conventions, and we'll know who's who on each ticket, and we'll pretty well know who's going to be on top of the ticket. That's where the market will be concerned about Trump, if Trump is still in the game. That is where we are going for. So 6-8 months from now, it'll be a big deal. Today, it's a bit early, but the clown show continues, doesn't it? It's unbelievable out there. I don't know. I just, what can I say? I just can't tell you how it's going to go. But we'll be here to watch it. That's all. We'll just be around. It's all right. We'll be consistently working on it, and hopefully those of you here who are going to be doing very well on your option writing campaigns, and you'll be down the highway a long way with regards to being self-employed, perhaps having said goodbye to your day job. Perhaps many of you will have found that you can retire a lot earlier than you thought because of your option writing and compounding of returns. That would be fabulous. By the way, thank you for 78 thumbs ups, everybody. Appreciate that. Keep them coming in if you can. If you're happy making money in this market, hit that thumbs up button. If you having fun with this option writing program, let me know and tell me how you're doing, and we'll kind of go from there. All right. Fabulous stuff. 209,000 jobs were created in June for the U.S. economy. It's kind of not too hot, not too cold. People aren't sure if this is good or bad news for interest rates. It's kind of like it wasn't too many. It wasn't really bad. It's kind of in the middle. What are we doing? Whatever. We'll see what's going on. Anyway, we'll see what happens. Yeah. Touch grass. Thumbs ups. Thank you, my friend. Robert Benson, number 82 on the thumbs up meter, Bruce. We'll get you to 200 today. Thank you, everybody, so much for your help. It is much appreciated. Yeah, we got a lot to watch, a lot to follow, and we'll just be here and keeping an eye on the markets and see how they react. But they will react to the political shenanigans going on, whether they're in Europe or whether they're in Asia or whether they're North America. The markets do follow politics. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. National policy is good or bad for business, depending on just what the policy is, and that's the way it is. Karen is number 82. Spicy, I am number 86, Bruce. we're getting you up there. Thank you all for hitting the thumbs up button for us and letting us know what number you are. Thank you, those again who've been members here for over 2.5 years. Thank you so much, all the members of this channel, those of you joining as members, those of you upgrading your membership to the Gold Bagel level. I thank you very much. Fabulous stuff. Looking forward to the meet and greet in New York coming up in October. We'll get you details when we have them, when we know exactly where we're going to do it and how and all that sort of stuff. So stand by. October 21 is the date, the projected date, Saturday, October 21 of this year. Jen and I will be in the New York area, and we will get together. We'll call a get together and see how many of you want to come out. It'll be nice to meet you in person for the first time. That would be really, really great. Very much looking forward to it. Alrighty, welcome one and all to the party. Welcome to option expiry day for Friday, July the 7th. This is the 7th day of July already, 2023. Man, it's time flying when you have fun. 92 thumbs ups. There we go. Maria Powell, thank you, Maria. Number 90, and now we have 94 thumbs ups. They are coming in. I appreciate it, guys. You're helping the YouTube people send out notifications to folks out there who are watching all kinds of stock market channels. There might be some opportunity for folks to find us. That's the story, and I'm sticking to it. Doing the best we can with what we've got. We're watching SoFi right now at 809, down 1 penny. We have nothing going on. Fed rate height in July, now more than 90% likely. Futures trading suggests this is no surprise whatsoever. This was expected already months ago, that there would be a run up, another bump in interest rates. The question is not if the rate is going up in July. That's not the question. The question is by how much. That is the question. Is it a quarter point? Is it a half a point? Those are the two numbers we're waiting on. One or the other. It's going higher. Yeah, of course. But by how much? And then the talk will shift immediately from that. It shifts to when will the rate go up again, because it will go up again, and by how much for the fall of this year, or August, September, October. What, where, when? Will there be a third rate increase? Will the Fed keep tackling inflation with aggressive rate hikes? This is what everyone wants to know, and we'll find out. Maria, there we are. Maria, good morning, everybody. Number 90. Thank you, Maria, so much for helping us. All of you helping out with the thumbs up meter. 102 are in now. 102, baby. Thank you. 30 thumbs ups in 5 minutes have come in here. Thank you, everyone, for popping in those thumbs ups right now. Keep them coming, guys. We appreciate it. The Dow at the moment is indicating a 99-point drop. This is a nothing burger. This is 0.3 of a percentage point. Nothing. We're down 12 points on S&P. We're down 31 on NASDAQ. 1/5 of a point. It's a nothing burger. Crude oil down 44 cents. Again, showing just what the oil market is really like. It is drowning in oil. American oil production is hitting record highs. Canadian oil production is at record highs. The two countries combined are some of the world's biggest producers of energy. There is a ton of oil everywhere. It's just everywhere. Russia is selling it under the table anywhere they can. Iran is trying to sell their oil under the table anywhere they can. China is happily buying oil for cash all over the globe between different tankers. There are tankers in other countries being utilized illegally, even though these countries have theoretically signed on to boycotts. Their under-the-table dealings are being discovered by satellite technology, and the cheating is going on everywhere. Oil is available on a cash buy everywhere. And so even third world dictator-run countries are able to get oil for less than $71 a barrel. American consumers, Canadian consumers, European consumers are being ripped off by the oil and gas cartel. The third world players that don't play by the rules are at the moment scoring cheap prices for oil by buying it from Russian tankers in the middle of the Black Sea or wherever, and elsewhere, as well as countries who are buying oil from Iran illegally, again, under the table cash deals. And it's on the backs of the Western world. This is the funniest thing about it. We in the West are subsidizing oil prices for the third world, the second world, because they're buying up the oil from Iranians and Russians that shouldn't be on the market at all. And these dollars that these two countries are getting, which is billions, hundreds of billions of dollars, are being used to buy bullets, missiles, artillery shells, tanks, you name it, to kill all kinds of people. And we are indirectly subsidizing this by buying crude from the Saudis rather than cutting them off by producing alternative energy as fast as we can to get off of Middle East oil, to get off of OPEC production. The Western world is not going fast enough to get off of this cartel's product and be self-reliant in oil, gas, and alternative energy, renewable energy. It's unfortunate. And so the maiming and killing and the constant reports we get every so many months, another coup here, another military coup here, democracy advocates being jailed for life here, press members being jailed for life here, assassinations going on all over the place. It continues on because the money, Arthur, the money is available to be had if you're in charge. If you're the 1%er in a lot of these countries around the world where rule of law doesn't exist, life is good for you and your families. It's wonderful. Unfortunately, for 99% of the population of these countries, which makes up probably billions of people, life is miserable. And the propaganda machines of these organizations, of these mobs that run these countries, blame the West for all their problems, even though their dictator is the one screwing them. What are you going to do? It is just, it's unbelievable. It's amazing how the religious leaders out there of the world, don't mind me, I'm just cleaning up some dust here. It's amazing how religious leaders of the world utilize their religion to bash the Western world for all their problems. And yet behind the scenes, they are just putting the boots to their own people because no one's going to stop them. It's quite sad. But hey, welcome to 2023. I could have tell you what I'm telling you now. I would have been telling you in 2003. I would have been telling you in 1983, all the way back. This is nothing new. This is the world moving on as usual in its own unique little way. Just the cast of characters have changed. That's all. That's all it is. Different cast of characters, but it's the same game all the time. Anyway, there you go. Octavio number 104 thumbs ups. Thank you, Octavio. Thank you so much for the thumbs ups and being here, everybody. It's option expiry Friday. 105 thumbs ups are in the house. Appreciate it. What can I say? Luca, good morning, everybody. I fell off my motorbike 2 hours ago, and I'm at the A&E waiting for an MRI. Just a few scratches. Still, I'm curious about how the trading day unfolds. Luca, you're getting too old for this stuff. You got to protect yourself, man. You got to be careful. We can't afford to lose you. Uncle Bruce and Bagel Crew wanting to write some cash secured puts today. Suggestions, thoughts. I was thinking about Tesla 250s, 260s for August for a few of the AI items. Well, yes, if you're going to write contracts, put cash secured puts. Certainly, if you want to write on Tesla, well, you can always take a look at Tesla 250s if you can afford to write those. It's $25,000 to write a contract. AI, if you are looking at, say, 35s or 30s out to January, that might be an area to consider. There might be some nice premiums available to you to write cash secured puts that far out. You can always take a look, of course, at Rocket Lab, SoFi. You can always look at even GameStop cash secured puts, perhaps. Let's take a peek here for January 2024 on AI. There we go. If you want to write $30 cash secured puts on AI for January 2024, on Friday night, or last night, pardon me, at the close last night, they were indicating around 610 a piece in premiums. If you were to write 35s, you could haul in probably about $9, close to $9 a share. At the moment, the shares are up 22 cents, so the puts are dropping a little bit in to start the day. But yesterday, AI dropped as low as 36 something, 36.18, and for a short period of time, these 30s may have hit about $8, and the 35s may have hit 10 or 11. And that would have been a wonderful right first hour of yesterday's opening, and then watch the stock recover. But you have to put the money on the table to do it. $40 puts on AI, by the way, you'd get paid right now $12 a contract. So you're on the hook at $28. You write a cash secured put on AI for $40 strike price, get paid $12 now. You only have to pay $28 for the stock. Actually, you're putting $40 up to do the right, but only $2,800 will be used. The other $1,200 they're giving you. I like that trade a lot. I like that deal a lot, because if the shares want to go to $45, $48 in the next 2 months, those puts are going to $4, and you can go from 12 down to 4. Keep $8 for yourself. Thank you very much. That's a 20% return on your $4,000. This is the thing about cash secured puts that a lot of people don't understand. You're putting up the cash to maybe buy the stock, but you don't want to buy the stock. You just want to return on your investment. Your investment is the strike price that you're prepared to pay for the stock. So if you put up $4,000 and get an $8 profit on it over 2 or 3 months' time, if it takes that long, so what? 20% return in 3-4 months of your time. This is okay. If you want to write 30s, you put up $3,000 and you bring in $6,000. If the shares stay above $30, these are worthless. They'll be down to 50 cents, 75 cents by December, depending on where the stock goes. Obviously, if the stock goes to 50 in the next month and a half, these 30s will drop now to $1. Of course they will. There's some nice profits to be had here percentage-wise. It's a question of what your risk tolerance is. JR is saying to Luca, you be safe, man. Get better. Luca, I'm 42. I'm going on 25. DQ 108. I'm lurking. Touch grass TBI is no joke. JR, the pop isn't backing off on Tesla or whatever that means. Luca, thank you, everybody. Thank you, JR. Amy, 112 thumbs up. Good morning, everybody. Luca, ciao, everybody. Anyway, hang in there, my friend. Take care of yourself. Be good, be well, and be careful. Well, we'll see how this market wants to react. We're at 39.48 on AI. We are at the moment with a minute to go, about to start trading. We're down 100 points on the Dow, 11 on S&P, 14 on NASDAQ. Larry, thank you, my friend, for hitting the bells. We're up and running, everybody. We're open for business now. And let's see if any of you are going to get richer today. Something tells me some of you are, maybe many of you are. I think a bunch of you on this channel are going to have a very good 2023, 2024. The way the option market is taking care of you and will take care of you, I am very optimistic. I like what I see, and boy, the premiums are pretty good in some cases here. At the moment, we're slowly opening up. We're up. We're down 149 on the Dow. We'll see if this holds or not. We'll kind of let everything recalibrate here. It's going to take a little while. We'll stay on top of this. DQ says thanks. Lucas says thank you, Larry, for hitting the bells. Maria, I have 10 SoFis at 7 and 10 at 8. I'm going to look at those AIs at the open. Right on. Thank you. Wait on me. Right on, Maria. Matthew, be safe. Luca, JR, the bells, Mr. Premium of the options. 116 thumbs ups, Bruce, and counting. We're now at 117. Thank you, everybody, for the thumbs ups for Friday, July 7th. I appreciate it. Good to have you here. The Dow is now off about 100, 10 points on S&P, 11 on NASDAQ, still filtering through. We'll know in a few more minutes just how we're doing. Oil seems to be off 33 cents a barrel to 71.46, way overpriced by 15, 20 bucks a barrel, but that's where it is at the moment. Hawkeye Pierce, 117 thumbs ups, Bruce, and counting. Thank you, Hawkeye. Thank you, Mr. Premium of the Option. Thank you, Amy. Thank you to DQ. Thank you to Octavio, Home Skillet, who was in early today. Thank you, Maria, Spicy Android, Karen, Robert Benson. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for these thumbs ups. JR, wait, no AJ today, and Uncle Bruce has no stubble yet? What's the deal over there? Well, I have to go out today and do some running around, and thought I'd kind of clean up a little bit. Auntie Jen's having a wonderful time at her family reunion of the in-laws, I think it is. I thankfully don't have to go. Thank you. It's so good. We're down 65 points on the Dow now. We're coming back up. We're only down 7 points on S&P. We're down 8 on NASDAQ. This sell-off has no wheels. There's no legs to this sell-off. We're up 4 cents on Matterport. NVIDIA's up $1.40. SoFi's at $8.20, up a dime. Rocket Lab is up 9 to $5.69. GameStop up 34 cents to $23.17. AI up $1.10 to $40.18. SmartRent up 3. We got Unity down just 8 cents. Tesla's up $3.19 now. Apple down 63. Google down 15 cents. Moderna's up 24. Cisco down 14. Pfizer down the nickel. IBM up 6. HPQ up 16. Microsoft down $1.60. Amazon up 18. Home Depot down 39 cents. Vanix Semiconductors up 3. Netflix down 34. Adobe down 13 cents. Goldman up $1. Boeing up $2. That's so far the indicator what's going on. More positive than negative at the moment. We're down now 32 on the Dow. We're down 1 point on S&P, and we're up 15 on NASDAQ. We have gone dead cat bounce the other way in 3 minutes after the opening. That is what's going on right here. We just don't seem to have a big sell-off happening. Cindy B, number 121, Bruce. Love making money on this channel. Thank you, everybody. Thank you all for helping out with the thumbs up meter. 123 thumbs ups are here now, and the market is turning to the plus side. We're only down 21 on the Dow now. It's only a 21-point dip. We're down 3 on S&P, and we're up a half a point on NASDAQ. We're down 32 cents on oil, and that is the story right now. AI just broke $41 a share on AI. 41.11 right now is the latest price on AI shares, and this short position on AI is the catalyst for this to possibly take another run. It's entirely possible. You cash secured put writers, enjoy the upside. There you go. What can I say? We got SoFi at 820, up just a dime. 1.3 million volume, nothing much. No sell wave here. GameStop up 34 cents to 23.17. So we have green to start the morning over there. The Dow off about 45 points at the moment. And Luca Matthew, thanks, man. There you go. Yeah, and not much happening. Don't expect any volume on ATIP for a while yet, unless they come out with a reorganization announcement, which will have to be filed with the SEC. They may even have to get SEC approval for their proposed reorganization, which will be massive. And I'm certain they're working on it. I'm certain it's happening behind the scenes. The stock is just treading water right now until an announcement is made. That's it. And then they'll call a shareholder vote to vote the proposed whatever. And it's going to take months. It's going to take hundreds of thousands and millions in legals. It'll completely transform the company. They might change its name. They might merge it with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 other companies. I have no idea. There's no end to the possibilities for ATIP, but it will not be the same entity that it's been in the structure that it's been running under. It's going to be changed. And this is only step one of maybe 10 steps that we've seen so far, the 50-for-1 rollback. So step back and wait it out. If you've got stock, sit around and wait if you want, and just see what it brings you. That's all I can tell you. That's all I can say. That's the way I do it. If I were involved in this thing, I'd be doing a multi-step reorganization, with the first step being the 50-for-1 rollback. My hunch is that 50-for-1 rollback and all the steps behind it have already been pre-negotiated. They already know exactly what they're going to do in 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, 18 months. That's all been figured out. Just hasn't been released to us because they can't tell us that. They can only reveal to us what they've done here and what they've asked shareholders to do. The second step and the third step will be released going forward to the public through the SEC for final approval by the SEC. They got to make sure the SEC signs off on what it is they want to do. Anyway, that's the story, and I'm sticking to it. Welcome all to the program, and I'm glad you're here today. It's Friday. I'm glad it's Friday. Are you guys glad it's Friday? It's a short week. Next week, we're kind of back to a normal trading week. Option expiry today, so there may be some shenaniganism going on out there. NVIDIA holding a 119 gain. Matterport is up 6.5. SoFi just up a dime. Rocket Labs up a dime. GameStop up 27, and AI at 41.05, up 197. Cheers, everybody. Yep, the market's just a little lower now. S&P down 6, NASDAQ down 1 point. It is an absolute nothing burger. Now the NASDAQ's up 3 points. It's a nothing burger day. So far, nothing burger. All righty, there you go, guys. That's what I'm showing and what I'm seeing. Let's see. Just reading headlines going across here. It says here, as the U.S. bakes in scorching heat, low-income people and communities of color are hit the hardest. In Barron's, headline says, Tesla will be the global EV leader for the next decade. An analyst says it won't be easy. DoorDash, Uber, and Grubhub sue New York City over minimum wage for delivery workers. A company called Playtika upgraded to neutral from underperformed Bank of America Securities. Here's a headline. Here's the new pain trade, and it involves rates, tech stocks, and the Japanese yen, says Bank of America. I was watching an expert yesterday, a bond treasury currency expert. Not sure what else to call this person, an analyst. And they were talking about the kind of trades going on at some of these hedge funds, ETFs, and other institutions where they call it the carry trade. And what's going on is they borrow money through brokerage firms and banks, investment banks. They borrow money in one country through that currency, maybe Japan, maybe Germany, maybe England, maybe America, wherever. And then they buy with that money, they convert it to another currency and buy bonds that yield a nice return elsewhere, where they feel the bond will rise in value faster than where they're at. So they're going into maybe Japan, or they're borrowing from Japan to buy German, or they're borrowing in Switzerland to buy English bonds, or they're borrowing from American banks at a nice low rate in American dollars, converting it into euro or yen or the Chinese currency or Indonesian currency. And then what they're then what they're doing is they're leveraging it with derivatives, and on top of that, they're buying insurance on the whole package. Again, the derivatives market. So you've got multi-billion-dollar cross-market positions being taken, where the value of a currency going up and down against other currencies can make or break these trades. Yet, what they're trying to pull off here is to borrow money at this rate, lend money at this rate, and enjoy the spread and buy insurance to keep the spread intact by having insurance on the currencies on both of the sides of the trade, this carry trade. So they're buying insurance on the value of the US dollar, on the whatever currency they're playing against, and on the bonds themselves. Very complicated, very high end, done through computers, trading systems, done through banks, done through bond desks, currency desk trading systems. There might be 50 people involved, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 entities involved in these trades to pull this whole thing off. And it's all designed by software, by the hedge fund that started the whole thing off with their house of cards, as it were. It is just fascinating what's happening out there all the time. Peter and Paul entered the chat. Peter and Paul, welcome to the chat. I'm glad you're here. Yeah, this kind of carry trade is going on 24/7 around the world. It's done by banks, insurance companies, hedge funds, pension funds, mutual funds, ETFs, private investors, syndicates, you name it. It is very complicated. We do not see and cannot see the actual trading floor where these transactions are made, because there is no trading floor for this sort of stuff. It's all on a computerized system, and parts of the deal are done with various partners, and the entire trades get pulled off by software trading programs. In effect, the buyers and the sellers of these transactions are all computers on behalf of other institutions. And so you may have one institution that's against your institution on the US dollar trade, but you're competing with another institution regarding the bonds that you bought through another country. Then you're dealing with insurance derivatives through other entities, and there are entities betting against you, others betting with you. It is so over the top complicated. And this movie, The Big Short, gives you the slightest glimpse into the complexity of that world. And that movie and that story is from 2008 and 9. That's already a 15-year-old story. And have things changed in 15 years? You betcha. There are entities out there who are waging war between each other over the war in Ukraine. There are grain traders playing the grain market because of Ukrainian grain exports. Energy traders trading the energy futures of everything. Electricity rate traders are playing that game because of the nuclear power plant problems in Ukraine and other issues. Currency traders all over the Russian ruble, the US dollar, the euro, and all kinds of other currencies involved. It goes on and on and on. There is a war happening all the time with dollars, yen, euros, pounds, francs, and all the bonds associated with it, all the futures associated with commodities and currencies going on. This is going on 24/7 while we're just obliviously going about our day. And I am desperately working here on this channel to keep you folks focused on what it is you have to do to take your pound of flesh out of the economy for yourselves. Because there are professionals out there who are trying to keep you in the poorhouse and would rather that you give up trading options and just go back to work to your cubicles and shut the hell up. And I'm trying to get you to the point where you have enough wherewithal and enough discipline to trade your options and build your portfolios that you are even partially successful in all the trades you make where you end up with millions more in your pocket rather than someone else have it. And that's the name of the game. And where you are getting your money from is not the institutional traders. You are not beating the crap out of hedge funds and mutual funds and ETFs. You are winning from very small retail investors. That is where you're making most of your money. And you're taking very conservative, very calculated trades where you are writing out of the money calls for ungodly premiums and putting the cash in your account, crossing your arms, and waiting for the deterioration of said contracts to pull off the score. And this is happening again and again and again. And it's obvious how well some of you are doing because of how many contracts you're now trading versus how many you first started to trade when you first became option writers 2.5 years ago, 2 years ago, a year ago, and so on. So welcome to the party, your party. I'm glad that you're here, and hopefully I'm able to help you. What is going on here? Let's go. What happened to Mary? There's Peter and Paul. Where's Mary? The whole gang says touch grass. Sorry, I couldn't resist the dad joke. Luca, Bruce, would you explain in very simple terms the 90-10 rule again? There's a lesson for that. I put classes out there for that. Matthew, I watched The Big Short the other day. Great movie. History repeating itself. Testy donkey. Luca, basically your deep in the money call should only be 10% premium if you're doing poor man covered calls. Alex, writing puts as well as covered calls means I like green days just as much as red days these days. Alex is getting it. He's getting it. He's figuring it out. The 90-10 rule is simple, simple, simple. If you're going to buy an option on a stock and the option is a deep in the money option, a call option, number one, it should be all the way out to 2025 at a minimum. Number two, the cost of the option, the total price you pay, should be no more than 10% time premium. It must be a minimum of 90% actual book value. So if a stock trades at $30 and you buy a $10 deep in the money call, there's $20 of book value in there, 10 to 30, that's book value. You cannot pay more than 10% of the price for the option as time premium. In other words, if the contract you're trying to buy, that is a $20 value, is going for $23, it's too expensive. If it's 22 or less, it's in the 90-10 rule. Because if you pay $22 for that contract and $20 is book value and $2 is time value, that's the 90-10 rule right there. 90% of the price of the contract is book, 10% of the price of the contract is time. Now, if you can make it 95.5, even better. 96.4, glorious. That's the name of the game. Now you can write options on that option and not suffer a lot of time depreciation while you do it. Right on. Sorry, Uncle Bruce. I mean, Luca, buy the lessons. There you go. Luca says, thank you. Too much fun. Blair, I was talking with my mom and boom, again, 8:30 at SoFi. Giddy up, baby. Hawkeye, partially successful, just paid off tens of thousands of credit card debt, leaving me so much lighter thanks to Uncle Bruce and option trading. That is step number one. B. Tizzle. Uncle Bruce, did you read the Forbes article this week about neobanks versus brick and mortar? No, haven't read it. Testy donkey smiling. Sorry, Uncle Bruce. I mean, Luca, buy the classes. Luca, I know, Uncle Bruce, I'm saving up for the whole lot. Hector, Uncle Bruce, trading with Unity, poor man covered call strategy. Which short call would you write? You might want to have a one-on-one with me on that. B. Tizzle, in a way, they say 1% of the new checking accounts opened last year were with SoFi. For the first half of the year, they account for 4%. Wow, that's huge. Touch grass, measure you're in the money with Delta. 90 Delta equals 90% of the share value. There's that. All kinds of ways to do it. Sometimes the best thing to do is to send me an email and say, Bruce, I need a one-on-one. I got so many questions about my account, my trading, what I want to do. Why don't we have a one-on-one session? You can help me out for an hour, hour and a half, and get me through this. That might be what you need to do. And I'd be happy to sit down with you on camera and go through that. Hopefully we can work something out. Slayer, by the way, SexterraQ up a third day in a row. It's now 0.89, almost a penny a share. B-Tizzle, in comparisons, Wells Fargo's went from 8.1% to 4%. They are losing business. SoFi is grabbing business. 8.24 on SoFi, up 14 cents. We're at 4.25 on NVIDIA, up 3.96. Matterport is up 8 cents. Rocket Lab's up 14 now to 5.74. GameStop 23.11 up 28. AI, that is C3.ai Inc, is at 41.67, up 2.59 this morning. We got ATIP unchanged. Unity up 58 cents at 41.13. Tesla up 2.93. Got Apple down 48. Google up 26. Moderna up 62 cents. Cisco down a nickel. Pfizer unchanged. IBM up 27 cents. HBQ up 18. What I find really gratifying is when people say to me, Bruce, I booked you for an hour. It cost $400. My wife and I sat down in front of the camera to talk to you for an hour. We went over our situation. We went over with you where we're at work-wise, family-wise, what our assets are doing, where we have our assets. And then we talked to you about possible trading ideas and strategies. You responded with this idea, this idea, this idea. We would then say our goodbyes after the end of the session, and my wife and I would, get a coffee pot going, have another cup of coffee, review everything you've said. We would watch the show, the session on rerun, because you recorded for us and send us a copy of our one-on-one session. We rewatch it a week later, and we realized that it is the best $400 we've ever spent, because for 1 hour to an hour and a half of your time for $400, you've just helped us figure out how to make 50 grand this year. And we had no idea 6 months ago about any of this. This is the cheapest investment we've ever made for the biggest bang on the buck we've ever seen. And I've had viewers tell me time and time again, because of the 1 hour one-on-ones that I have with you, I now write 20 contracts at a time, and I'll write 20 calls and I'll bring in $4, and then I'll buy them back for $3 a week or two later. And I score $2 grand profit on that trade. I sent Uncle Bruce $400 to learn how to make $2,000. I can now do this for the rest of my life. Thank you very much. I cannot tell you how thrilled I am when I get these responses from people who will say to Jen and I, just want you to know, since that one-on-one, everything here's changed. Everything. We're bringing in 6,000 every month now. We're bringing in 10,000. We brought in enough money in the last 3 months. We've paid off all our credit cards that we could never pay them off in the past. We could never get rid of them. We're always doing minimum payments all the time. And we were always paying just enough to get the electric bill paid. We just had enough to pay for the water bill. But when the car broke down, it would be a disaster around here. We'd have to pull the credit card again for another $4 grand to get the damn car fixed. You have changed everything with respect to our economic lives. And we've only just started, because, guys, once you pay off your credit cards, you don't have any more credit cards to pay off. Once you've paid off your car loan, you own the car. Your cost of living drops every time you knock off these IOUs, which means your savings will rise. The drain on your paychecks goes down. The drain on your accounts goes down if you're living off of your premiums. The next thing you realize is that my cost of living is only 2/3 of what it used to be. Yet my income is triple what it ever was. This is a huge difference in lifestyle adjustment. And it compounds month after month after month. People forget that in the second year of you writing options, and you've quit your day job, or you're about to quit your day job, or you're $100,000 closer to retirement, whatever, in the second year, the third year, the compounding part of this just dominates everything. It absolutely takes it to another direction. And many of you have never been there before. You've never been that economically successful. Makes sense to me because America and Canada and the Western world, the entire focus is on you to spend, 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 borrow and spend, borrow and spend. It is not focused on you to earn and save, earn and save. That is not the American way. The American way is to get stuff. And if you owe on it, it's just payments, no big deal. This is not the way to economic salvation. Economic salvation is when you bring in way more money than you need to live on and you don't know what to do with the overage. And so you find ways to make it work for you. And the ultimate success is what Mr. Buffett says. You can have a job that pays you $1 million a year, $100,000 a year, $120,000 a year. Husband and wife work their butts off and they make $180,000 a year, $220,000 a year. The two of them are paying taxes on all that income at the federal and state income tax rate. Or if you put your money to work and you make capital gains, which most of what we're talking about here is capital gains. If you have to pay tax on those gains, it's 15%. Your money can work a lot more efficiently than you can. You're better off not working and having your money replace you as the income earner. Your taxes will go down dramatically. In other words, there's more left over at the end of the month. So if you can equal what you get paid gross at your shop, if between you and your wife, if you generate $12,000 a month combined in gross income, you're both successful, hardworking people. If the two of you combined can bring in $12,000 a month in option premiums every month on average, you will have more money left over at the end of the month than from their paychecks. Because with the paychecks, you got all the deductions coming off the top. What's left over for you? On the option writing side, 12,000 comes in gross. There's more left on this than on your paychecks. And that's the difference. You've just given yourselves a huge raise every 30 days. You knocked off your bills. You knocked off your credit card debts. You knocked off loans. You just reduced your cost of living even further. In other words, you used to earn this and clear this. Now you earn this and clear this. And your cost of living used to be here, and your cost of living now is here. You got a gap that is massive. It's a whole new world. It has a way of paying off. Thank you, everybody, so much. It's great to have you here. Zen Estate, 128 thumbs up. Thank you. Yep, option premium just paid for a 2-week vacay that we just got back from, says the premium the option. Touch grass, how can you not love this guy? How can you hate a guy like me? I don't understand. And all of this is possible with a Democrat in the White House. Unbelievable. I would have thought that, I think I remember ads and prognostications that if a Democrat gets elected president of the United States, all Americans might as well just leave the country because there's no way you can get ahead in this world. And yet, here we have people making money in this economy under this administration. Because here's the reality of it. It doesn't matter who's in the White House. It doesn't matter who's in the Senate. It doesn't matter who's in the Congress. You guys can make money in this world no matter who does what. It's you're in control of your life. You're the ones controlling your dollars. And remember, if you end up talking to a tax advisor and you figure out how to set up a corporate entity that handles your money. In other words, your dollars are lent to an entity for an interest payment of some kind that you get paid from the entity, or you get a dividend program from a preferred share you bought from your entity. However your tax advisor sets you up, you guys are now running money inside a corporation. And in Canada, and in America, corporations are loved and adored by politicians, regulators, cities, states, counties. Countries love corporations. Countries and politicians and counties and cities and whatever, they don't seem to like people very much, but they love corporations. And if your business is in a corporate entity and the business that you are running is a business that writes options, more power to you, because you've got write-offs coming your way that you've never had before. This is what you've got to investigate with your advisors. I talk about this on my one-on-ones all the time. And if you do it right, it can be incredibly lucrative for you. You may find that the first 30, 40% you generate is tax-free because it's all a write-off. There's write-offs write-offs you never heard of before that you can take advantage of, because as an individual worker, there are no write-offs. But here, there can be massive write-offs. And all of a sudden, you've got a whole different world in front of you here. A low taxation, high write-off world that corporations have mastered from all the governments across the United States and in Canada. Kids, I'm just telling you, it's available for you. It's there. Zed, 128 on the thumbs up. Wow, Uncle Bruce, I never realized the tax advantage of option writing and capital gains. I knew about the 15%, but I didn't get it through my thick skull. I'm telling you guys, find $400 and hire me up for an hour so we can go over your situation, because every one of you are different, and each one of you needs a different solution, a different angle, and I might be able to help you in that direction. I don't know, but I'm certain that within 15, 20 minutes, you'll be sitting back going, well, there's the $400 I paid right there. I already got that back. That right there. Thank you, Bruce. Now, if I'm writing these 10 contracts, these 10 contracts, these 10 contracts, and these 10 contracts over the next 3 months, there's another couple of grand in my pocket. Then there's the low taxation issue. Then there's the corporate issue. Then there's this, there's that, there's it. Unless you want to absorb the info, you're not going to learn. You've got to want to get it. Start with the classes. Get your butts over to those classes and take those damn classes. And look me up and get together with it. We'll get together and I'll do what I can for you. But you got to want it. You got to want it. Hopefully, enough of you will step up and go after it. I know a number of you have already. I've helped hundreds of you already. I know that. And many folks who I've helped are really not here very often anymore. They're here once in a while. They listen in, but they don't comment much anymore. They're too busy trading, making money. They've figured out their path and they're on it. The next generation of folks that I'm going to help are here, right here, and they're coming in every day. And I welcome you to the party, pals. Welcome you all. Marcus, number 132, Bruce. That's where I'm at. Fantastic. We are at 133 thumbs ups. I appreciate it very much. We're running out of time for today's show. We're coming up to an hour and 32 minutes, 28 minutes to go. Looking for 200 thumbs ups. If any of you can find that thumbs up button, help me out. Help me out being so that YouTube will get me discovered. We need people to find us that will join this party. And if those of you can hit the thumbs up button to help us get discovered, I would appreciate it. Thank you. Neat is all I can say to all of you out there. The Knights of Knee, you must honor them. Don't mess with the Knights of Knee. Bring them the shrubbery they deserve. And hopefully these Knights of Knee will bring you returns that you are dreaming about. 140 thumbs ups are in. Thank you all. And keep them coming if you can. Larry Titus, neat. Richard Carlin, neat. There they come. Thank you all for following and joining in. Nico, neat. So many of you out there. I tell you, we've had a nice run on the classes and the one-on-ones over the last 2 years. And I know that many of you out there, a vast majority of you have scored big time from the added knowledge. B. Tizzle, Marcus, Hector, howdy partner, here they go. D.H. Ruda, neat. Congratulations to every one of you out there who have changed your lives in a little way, a mediocre way, and a big way. There are many of you who have completely gone 180 in your lives, complete 180. I know it. You tell me, and I hear it a lot. I'm excited for you. Lame Duck, way to go, pal. Thank you all for everything, all of you. Splair, just in case, I'm wishing you all a great weekend. I now start 4 hours of work, third and last time this week, thanks to Uncle Bruce. Right on, Spur. Have a great weekend, pal. Enjoy. Way to go, buddy. Rugman loves Joe Biden. A $10 donation to Uncle Bruce. Uncle Bruce, I'm trying to buy 2 puts on Royal Caribbean. These are June 2024's $95 strike. These seem expensive. Any suggestions? Thank you, Uncle B. Well, that's the problem with the puts on Royal Caribbean. You definitely want to get the cheaper versions of puts to get you some leverage. The problem is that you don't want to overpay for them because you're going to need a $20 move just to break even. You don't want to be in that position. Now, for some of you, if you can afford in-the-money puts, maybe that's the best way to go. You buy an in-the-money put. The problem is then the return, the percentage return. I don't know if it's good enough. This is something I don't know. Luca, Juice Blair, Edith, the Big E, Edith, the Big E. I just refer to this as person as the Big E. Thank you, Spare. Thanks, Uncle Bruce. You got it, buddy. Thank you all so much for your support of this YouTuber, even though I can't pronounce the names of my own viewers. Too much fun. BT, fun fact of the day. The cruise line sector is the best performing sector of the market this year. I read that article today. They were talking about how Carnival used to have 11 billion in debt, and now Carnival has 30 billion in debt. 19 billion more. The company has never made more than 3-4 billion in profit ever in a year, ever. The problem with the $30 billion in debt is multiple problems. Number one problem, the rising rates to carry it. It's costing Carnival more money every year in interest payments to carry the 30 billion. The second problem is the 30 billion they owe is against their ships, which are rotting at sea. Every cruise ship in the world is in salt water. The salt water eats these cruise ships alive, bit by bit by bit. These cruise ships have a book life, a borrowable, money you can borrow against them, life of 30 years on a declining scale. So every year, the cruise ship loses 3% of its original value. Every year. And at the end of 30 years, there's no value left to borrow against. And the problem for Carnival is they do happen to have a number of ships that are 15 years old and older. And so they're on the last half of their life. These ships never cost $1 billion to build either. These were ships built for $400-500 million that lost $15 million a year in value for 15 years. And so they're now down to 150 million carried value. The biggest ships, the newest ships that they're generating, $1 billion plus, $1.5 billion ship, they're losing 30 to 40 million a year in value every year. And so in the next 5 years, Carnival's fleet will depreciate by $5 billion in value. This 30 billion they owe, they have to pay it back. They can't carry it indefinitely. Doesn't work that way. And so they're paying the interest in the meantime to carry the debt, but they've got to start paying it down. And if they can pay down $1 billion a year, in theory, in the next 5 years, they'll have paid it down by $5 billion. If they don't have to borrow anymore, they'll then owe $25 billion. The trick is, will interest rates top up another 1 percentage point and stay there for 2 years before they even begin to slip? Could it be 5 years from now before we see interest rates back down to where they were, like a half a point lower than where they are now? Could that take 5 full years? We climb up, hold, and finally back off. That means the interest charges to this 25-30 billion is going to be much higher than what they paid in the past. That's the problem with Carnival and Norwegian and Royal Caribbean. 5 years from now, the ships' fleets are 5 years older. 5 years from now, 20% of the ships that Carnival has will be scrapped because they'll be too old to maintain, too old to keep sailing, must be replaced. It's a vicious game. It's a 30-year lifespan. You're talking about Carnival with 90 plus ships. Hey, that's 3 a year. They have to retire, if not more than that, 3 a year. That's 15 in the next 5 years. Think about that. Splayer, ciao, Luca. Have a good one, y'all. From here, almost 80 Fahrenheit. B Tizzle, I can't make that stuff up. Bizzle, that's a lot of billions. It sure is. It's ugly stuff, and cruise ship stocks are not where you want to be. There's a lot better places to be than cruise ship stocks. Oh, gosh. Yeah, unbelievable. It's just like airlines. Every time a plane takes off and lands, that's another cycle that they've gone through. There's only so many cycles per plane. These 737s that land and take off and land 10 times a day, they have a limited lifespan. There's only so many hours in those engines and those airframes and the seats and all the wiring and everything else. These planes cost a fortune to keep running, and every flight they lose more value. It's an endless depreciation game that they're playing, and an endless refurbishing game and replacement game. And the interest rate business is ugly. The fuel business can be very bad for airlines. There are airlines out there that are busy. Oh, yeah, they're busy, all right, but they're not making money. They're busy burning through money. Yeah. You get on the plane, you get off the plane. Someone else gets on the plane, you get off the plane. The problem is there's no margins in the business. There are planes at United and American is flying, Delta is flying, and other airlines. These planes are 15 and 20 and 25 years old, well past their primes, and they're not the efficient planes that are coming off the production line at Airbus and Boeing, because these airlines have cut back their new orders and or are delayed in receiving their new orders. And especially in the 787 and the 777 division over at Boeing, a big mess over there. Huge mess. They just got through the 737 MAX nightmare, and they're still dealing with nightmares over there. Not going well at Boeing, actually, when you think about it. Airbus is running as fast as they can, as much as they can, and they've got supply chain issues with engine parts and everything else. The airlines are having a tough time of it, and it sounds good with everybody wanting to travel, but it isn't good on the bottom line. It's not great. So yeah, not much. Cruise lines have another problem that I don't talk about here much. Cruise lines have a problem called government taxes and fees. Those of you who do go cruising, you know that in the last 2-3 years, the cost of your cruise ticket has gone up. Yeah, but the price of the port charges and fees have really gone up. That's going to continue. Governments are strapped for cash flow. The Bahamas government is going from $18 a passenger, whether you get off the ship or not, to $33 a passenger, whether you get off the ship or not. That starts January of 2024. This is going to be the new normal with every Caribbean country. They're all going to do this. All other countries that accept cruise ships are going to lift the cost of passenger head taxes dramatically, because cruise passengers don't vote. You can piss them off all you want. They will not vote you out of office. And the politician that can go to their finance committee and say to their public voters, we brought in another $150 million in revenue this past year from tourists. The locals are going to go, this is great, because they don't vote, and they're just here for 6 hours at a time, 8 hours. Let's get as much money out of these people as we can. We don't care. Yeah, well, that's the name of the game everywhere. The passenger is the one being ripped off, and eventually what happens is they don't book cruises. They back off because they're sick and tired of going to 5 different stops, and every stop nails them $30 to come in for 5 hours. You want to pay that? People are going, I'll just fly to Mexico to that all-inclusive resort. I'll pay the $30 entry fee, but I'll be there for 2 weeks. And it'll cost me $30 for 2 weeks to be in Mexico. I'm not paying $150 in a 7-day cruise in tourist fees. Not a chance. A family of 4, $600. I don't think so. Anyway, there you go. That's a lot of billions. Well done, Beach Boy, says Luca. Zed, if you are a Beach Boy, is your son Beach the man? Zed wants to know. Alex, Beach Boy, beautiful job. There you go. I'm not sure what Beach Boy is bragging about. I don't have it here. Must be something on Discord. Beach Boy, I hope you're making nothing but money out there. The Dow is down 30. S&P is down 0.39. Let's take a look here at this market right now. We're up a point on S&P. We're up 35 on NASDAQ right now. We're down 40 on the Dow. AI is now 41.20, up 212. Anyone who's been writing cash secured puts on AI is smiling right now from ear to ear. The SoFi is up 9. Rocket Lab up 14. So those puts are falling in value as well. Very good. Matterport is up a nickel today. Congratulations, everybody. Well done all. And what can I say? Alex, Bruce, check your green bars. BB wrote one. Okay, let me take a look here. Sorry. Oh, there it is. There it is. There it is. There it is. Okay. Beach Boy, thank you, my friend. Member for 27 months. Gold Bagel member, obviously. Bought back 100 AI July 21st, 37.5 cash secured puts. $25,500 gain. Looks like the studying is worth it. Again, thinking of a one-on-one this time with my son. So a 2-on-1. Thank you, Uncle Bruce. There you go, my friend. We'll look forward to getting together with that. That's awesome sauce stuff. And I appreciate it, Beach Boy. Of course, you know how much I appreciate you. Beautifully done, sir. Keep up the good work, and you keep me posted when you want to get together. And we'll figure it out. Yes, the studying does pay off. There was a time where viewers of this channel were writing 1, 2, 3 calls at a time, writing the odd cash secured put here and there, writing 5 at a time. Once they started writing 5 and 10, those are big trades. I wrote 5 cash secured puts. I brought in $250. I bought them back for $150. I made $500. This is huge. Well, when it's your first time, it is huge. You have no idea how it works, and when it works, you kind of go, "Wow, hey, geez, this is great." Then you get together with me if you can, do the classes and hang out, and we'll work it out together. We'll hold hands and go through the gambit, make it work. Zed Beach Boy has a big green bar, 27-month gold bagel member. Option Nomads. Number 150, Mr. B. Thank you, Option Nomads, for your support and letting me know how long you've been here. Thank you for these thumbs ups, everybody. Keep it coming. Let us in on it. How long you've been here. We have 151 thumbs ups now. Thank you, everybody, for doing that. Beach Boy, Bruce, no Beach Boy and no lamp. There you go. There you go. BW, cash secured report writers of AI, congrats. Call writers are working hard this week. 2 sides of the coin, and the CSP side is winning this week. Congratulations. 4106. AI was at $32 a little over a week and a half ago. Now it's 41. Very good. GameStop 22.92 up 9. Rocket Lab 573 up 13. SoFi 818 up 8. NVIDIA up to 427, up 633. The Dow down 39, S&P down a point, and NASDAQ up 18. Congratulations, everybody, on a job, I think, well done. Gambit, Gambit. There you go, Gambit, yeah. Oh, my goodness. Smart Rent up 4.5. We've got Unity up 20 cents. Tesla down 52 cents today. Apple is up down 95 cents. Google down 3. Moderna is up $1.19. Cisco's up 2. Pfizer down a dime. IBM up 56. HPQ up 9. Microsoft down 166. ME is up 3.5. Amazon up 74. We got Spire at 54.6. I'd sure like to see that go. Get going, Spire. Home Depot is up 47 cents. Vanik is up 96. Netflix down 179. Adobe up 187. Goldman up $1. Boeing up $2. Meta down 250. Target up 60 cents. JP Morgan up 150. Costco down 7. Walmart down 130. Disney up 19. American Airlines up 32. DraftKings up $1. Welcome all to the show. Hope you're doing well today. Everyone have a great weekend, says Matthew. Thank you, Matthew. JR, this is so great. So easy to do rollovers and change positions on Tesla, pulling money off the table at the same time. Nice. Yeah, it's volatile, and that's what makes it so great. Yes, It does. A living can be had trading your contracts with this volatility stocks. Absolutely. You just got to be on it. You just got to stay on it. Beats a day job all to hell. I'll tell you that. No day job can beat writing options. No way. This is much too much fun. Much too much fun. BW, I ask, even with margin being used, it has its limit based on account value. So what is a good percent of cash to keep available for rolling? 30% of your rights need to be in cash. What do you think? I don't have a specific number. It depends on the volatility. It depends on your volume and activity level. If you're a day trader wannabe, you're the kind of person that likes to trade often, you're going to have to keep more cash around or availability to cash. You're just going to have to, because you're a more active trader. If you're more patient, you're the kind of writer that will write an out of the money call 4 months, 6 months out, take a whack of money, immediately write, buy new deep in the money calls and write more contracts to maximize the return. Then you have to be patient. You're going to have to write and sit back. But if you've written correctly and you're out of the money, like on GameStops, you're sitting at 25s, $27 calls that you wrote a week or two ago. You're right now looking at maybe buying back your calls to write closer in time and closer in price calls. But you might also not do a damn thing. You might just sit back and go, this GameStop's gone down $3. I'm not doing anything. I am now $5 out of the money on my calls. I wrote them $2 out of the money. I'm now $5 out of the money. I'm not moving. No way. The only way I'm going to move is with a month to go. With a month to go and $5 out of the money, these calls are 75 cents. Now I'm interested, because I'm going to write another call 5 months further out again. I'm going to buy them back at 74 cents, 71 cents, and I'm going to write for $5.75, $2 out of the money, 6 months down the road. That's what I'm doing. Now, on that move, of course, we're buying back and writing a whole bunch of new calls because we stepped up with our deep in the money call purchases. We're now bringing in another whack of money. And guess what? We're buying another batch of deep in the money calls and writing on those immediately. And keeping 10, 15% cash lying around, perhaps we might be doing that. That might be the plan. More cash, says BW, than if trying to bring in income to live on now in a personal retail account versus IRA, RRSP. Yes, JR, I usually keep 25, 30% dry powder. But remember this, if you write against stock or deep in the money calls, the losses in stock price are mostly evened out with the gains on the short calls. Doing trades this way, JR, evens out the wild springs. And, over time, you've done 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 turnovers. You start doing the math and you're going, holy crap. Started with 10 deep in the money calls and I got 34 of them. My account value was this much. My account value now is this much. Holy moly macaroni. This is all capital gains. Thank you very much, Mr. Taxman. BW, well stated, JR. The scale just balances back and forth in equilibrium. There is that, and then there's the time factor. And don't forget that. Yes, keep it going, kids. Bringing in premiums. This is the name of the game. Bringing in the biggest premiums you can from this market. We have 154 thumbs ups going through right now. We got 6 minutes to go before the show is over today. I want to say thank you, everyone, again, for how long you've been a member of this channel. Those of you who are Gold Bagel members, who are Chillin' with Uncle Bruce members, I want to thank you, all you folks who are option takers or class takers, taking the lessons from the website. Thank you very much. And of course, those of you who are seeking a one-on-one with me, let me know, when would you like to do one? I'll check the schedule. We'll see if we can figure out some openings, and we'll get together. And we'll try to make you smarter, richer, more deadly as a writer, and try to help your skills and get you into the upper echelon of option writing. There's nothing wrong with going from 5 to 10 to 20 calls at a time and then going up to the 40-50 range and the 70-80 range and the 100-120 range and the 150-200 range and beyond. There's absolutely nothing wrong with any of this. Congratulations. Thank you, JR. Alex, thank you. Neat, we say. Take the classes, everybody, says JR. The investment will pay off over time. Invest in yourself. I can't say it any better than that. It's all I ask. Thank you all for being part of this man's channel. Luca, have a great weekend, everybody, and thanks for all the brief explanations earlier. BW, I think today is the day to roll up my AI leaps as I readjust my short calls, sitting on a lot of 15s. January 25s deep in the monies, and I'll look at rolling into 20s. There's always that. Keep an eye on that 90-10 roll. Number one objective, whatever you move into, make sure the 90-10 rule works for you, and you're good to go. Thank you all so very much. John Anderson, thank you, my friend. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody. Enjoy it. Hope you have good weather wherever you are, and stay healthy out there. Don't fall off motorbikes. Don't be doing that. Make sure to come and see me Monday morning. Let's get richer together. John Anderson, knee. That's right. Don't forget the Knights of Knee. Honor them. Respect them. We have 159 thumbs ups. Thank you all so much. One of the great things with Uncle Bruce's class is if you have questions, you can ask here or send an email. He's very good about helping out. It's good for him, too, when you all do well. That's the key, folks. You guys get richer. You make me richer. It's just so simple. Jen and I so appreciate you for changing our lives because we're changing your lives. And looking forward to seeing you folks in New York. This should be a lot of fun. Of course, next winter, we'll have another get-together in California, I'm sure. That'll be... what is that, April, May, so we're looking forward to that. And then, of course, we'll be in Australia and New Zealand, December to March. Looking forward to seeing some folks down there. And obviously, we'll be in Europe between late August and mid-October. Looking forward to see some of our European friends over there as well. And love to compare notes, love to hear how you guys are doing, and love seeing you in person to help us better understand your situation, and hopefully help you get even richer out there. Thank you all so very much. We'll call it a day today. Thank you all. We'll see you first thing Monday. If anything breaks over the weekend, we'll let you know. In the meantime, take care of yourselves, get richer, keep an eye on these markets, and let the dollars come your way, everybody. Thank you all so much, and take good care, all right? Bye for now.